Welcome to Youth Yoga. My name is Melissa and I'll be taking you through your classes this semester. To begin, find yourself in the middle of your mat, sitting comfortably, whatever that looks like for you. Cross-legged, maybe you're sitting on your knees, maybe your legs are extended, maybe you have your legs off to the side. Just take a minute to be comfortable. We're focusing on tall posture. So we're lengthening through the back, we're drawing the shoulders down and back, and we're lifting through the top of the head, planting into the sitting bones, lifting through the spine. Bringing our awareness to our breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Take a moment to check in with yourself today, noticing how your body feels, your different muscle groups, your different joints, and also notice how you feel emotionally. We're not trying to change anything or fix anything, we're just simply noticing. After you've taken a moment to check in with yourself, start to intentionally deepen your breath. So we're breathing in, bringing that inhale all the way down to the bottom of the belly. And we're doing a full, complete exhale. This should be nice and slow, and we're taking the deepest breath that we can take. Noticing how the body feels when we intentionally breathe deeply. Taking a minute just to let go of the day. We're not projecting ahead into the future, thinking of our to-do list. We're not thinking back towards the day that has passed us by. We're just simply being present in class today. We'll stay here for 4 to 5 more breath cycles, remembering that one inhale and one exhale equals one breath cycle. When you're ready, go ahead and roll down onto your back. We'll begin with our knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. Take a minute just to wiggle your feet around a little bit, maybe curling and uncurling your toes. And then we're bringing those feet to stillness on the mat. They should be about hips width distance apart. Arms are extending out to a T shape, palms are down. We're coming to a spinal lift, warming up the muscles of the lower body. So take a breath in through the nose. As we breathe out, we're pressing into the feet. Slowly lifting up as high as we comfortably can, maybe coming to our shoulders today. Slowly putting the spine back down onto the mat. A few different times, specifically working with the breath, using the ground into the feet and lift the back. Good. We've got 2 more lifts. We're strengthening the hamstrings, the glutes, and the low back. And we're getting a stretch or an opening through the hip flexors. Good. Last time, ground into your feet, peeling the spine up. And lower down. Nice job. We're extending our left leg down onto the mat. The right knee draws up, taking a minute to point and flex the right foot. So we're pointing the toes and flexing the feet. 2 more times. And then bringing that foot to stillness, we're extending the leg straight up into a half candlestick. We're holding behind the leg for support. The toes are pointed. If your legs or hamstrings are tight today, you can leave a bend in the knee like this, and that takes a little bit of pressure off the back of the leg. Two more deep breaths. Good. Bend the knee, plant that foot down, slide the right leg all the way down onto the mat. The left knee draws up into the ribs, pointing and flexing. Three more times. And last time. Nice job. Relax the foot. Send that leg straight up, holding behind for support. Toes are pointed toward the ceiling. Take one more deep breath. Good. Bend the knee, plant the foot down. We're rolling onto our side and pressing ourselves up. We're into a tabletop. From a tabletop, we move right into a down dog. So we're tucking the toes, sending the tailbone and hips up to the ceiling, pushing the hands forward, and pressing into the heels. If you want to get a little extra stretch through your legs, try lifting up to your tiptoes and then sinking both heels down toward the mat. And then again, lifting to the tiptoes and sinking down. We'll do that 3 more times. Once your heels are pressed back down, bend both knees, finding a tabletop. The right foot steps forward. Breathing in, send both arms up. We're into a kneeling lunge. Palms face each other. The front knee is stacked directly on top of the ankle. Take 3 more breaths here. Now we shift to a standing lunge. So we're dropping the hands down toward the ground, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and come all the way up. Once you're upright, you can always take a minute and adjust your feet if you want to move them closer together or further apart. Two more deep breaths. We're shifting into a balancing airplane, so we're dropping the hands down, bringing the weight onto the front leg, the back leg extends, and the arms follow. So we're shaped like a capital letter T. Bending the front knee, place the back foot down, coming back up to that high lunge. We're staying low and grounded from the waist down. From the waist up, we're extending, reaching, lifting. Transferring back to a kneeling lunge, reaching the arms to the side, fingertips come to the ground. We're dropping that back knee, and palms come together at the heart center. Take 3 more breaths here. Shifting to a twist, the left elbow crosses over. So we are turning toward the front leg. And we want the hands to be right in the ribs. Take a few deep cleansing breaths here. Picking that elbow up, we're into a tabletop. Now the left foot comes forward. Breathing in, arms extend up, sweeping those fingertips up toward the ceiling, keeping length in the spine. On your next exhale, drop those hands down to the ground, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, grounding into the feet, stacked over the hips. Planting through the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel of the front foot. When you're ready, take your time, slowly with control, shift into your balancing airplane. If you fall out of a standing balance, that's fine. Get right back into it. We're strengthening the whole back line of the body. 2 more breaths. Good. Bend the grounded knee, drop the back leg. Arms extend back up. We've got 5 to 6 breaths here, and then we're back down into our kneeling lunge. Keeping the back nice and straight. Hinge forward. Dropping that back knee. Palms come into the heart center. Keeping that lift through the spine. We've got a couple breaths here, and then we'll take it to a twist. Now we're taking our right elbow, crossing it over. Trying to drop and relax the right shoulder, the bottom shoulder. Two more deep breaths. Good. Picking that elbow up, come back into your tabletop for a slow cat-cow. We're dropping the belly, lifting the chin, tilting the tailbone up. Being careful not to lock through the elbows. The focus is on relaxing the low back, the lumbar spine. And now we round up into a cat stretch. So pull your mid back, your thoracic spine straight up. Tilt the tailbone down, drop the chin, and look towards your belly. We're grounding or pushing into the hands so that we're getting a stretch through the shoulders and the upper back. Good. Coming back to a neutral spine, a tabletop. We'll take a minute to rest in child's pose. So go ahead and come all the way down to your mat. Remember, your knees can be together or far apart, whatever you find more comfortable. And we're resting the forehead on something, whether it be on the ground or stacking the fists. We'll stay here for 8 breath cycles. Take 2 more deep breaths. Good, we're up into a tabletop. Shifting back to a down dog. Tucking the toes, sending that tailbone up. We're into a down dog split. So we're taking the right toes, pointing them, extending that leg as high as you can. Bend your knee and take a giant step through. We're back to another high lunge. Arms extend up, palms face each other. Nice job. Hands come to the hips. We're straightening the front knee and bending the front knee. Straightening the front knee and bending the front knee. So think of it like a lift and a sink. We don't want to be shifting forwards and backwards. We're rising up to the ceiling and then sinking down toward the ground. We'll do this a couple more times, focusing on building strength in the legs, and then we'll come from a standing high lunge back to a down dog split. We've got 2 more. So with that front knee bent, take a breath in, send those arms up, and then exhaling, dropping our hands down to the mat. We're taking our front leg and shooting it straight out the back into a down dog split and lowering it down. Same thing on the left toes point. Extend the leg high. Bend the knee, take a huge step through. Push the ground away with your feet. And here we are back in a high lunge. The feet are on 2 separate tracks. All the toes are pointing in the same direction. Nice work. Hands come to the hips. Straighten the front knee and bend the front knee. Rising up and sinking down. Check your shoulders. It's really easy to start to draw those shoulders up toward the ears. So make sure that the shoulders anchor down. We've got 4 more lifts. Here's our last one. With a bent front knee, circle sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinging forward, planting the hands on the ground. The foot shoots up and back and lowers down. We're into a down dog. Soften the knees and walk the feet forward. Take a deep breath in. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. Breathe out, diving down to a forward fold. Pausing here for a few breaths, letting the hands fall wherever they comfortably do. Maybe you want to shake your head or nod your head to be sure that you don't have stress or tension in the neck muscles. Two more deep breaths. Good. Soften those knees. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. And breathe out, dropping the arms down. Nice job. We're into a standing balance called a dancer. So we'll be shifting our weight onto our right foot. The left foot comes up to the left hand. The right arm extends. And we hinge forward. So you look like a dancer or maybe an ice skater. When you're ready, slowly step out of that. Drop your left foot and shift your weight onto your left foot. The right ankle comes up to the right hand. Grounding into the left foot, the left arm extends, and hinge forward. Pushing the back foot into the hand and extending through the left fingers. Go ahead and step out of that. I'll be turning to the long side of the mat. For our next standing balance, we'll be doing a standing pigeon. So we're softening the knees, not bent all the way like they would be in a chair, but we've got a slight bend in the knees, and we're shifting our weight to one side. Pick your other ankle up. Cross your ankle over your knee, the foot is flexed so the toes point down, and then the grounded knee bends, lowering the hips down a little bit, palms press in. This is a standing pigeon. Stay with a nice deep breath. When you're ready, come out of that nice and slow. Plant your foot down, soften the knees, and shift your weight to the other side. Crossing the opposite ankle, palms come together, the grounded knee bends so that the hips lower toward the ground. Two more breaths. Good, coming all the way back up to standing. Standing balances are so helpful at building strength through the body. If you notice, anytime you're in a standing balance, your feet are shaking and wobbling, and your entire body has to make little micro adjustments constantly to compensate for the weight that you have shifted. So anytime we're in a standing balance, every single muscle fiber in the body is compensating for what we've done. So it's a great strength builder. Go ahead and turn back to the top of your mat. We're coming into a chair flow. So we're bending the knees, palms come together, and then we're straightening back up and dropping the arms. Take this at your own pace and find your own comfortable range of motion today. Maybe it's just a little tiny bend in the knees. Maybe you're coming down to a really deep squat, or maybe it's somewhere in between. Check your knees. Be sure you're not doing this. We don't want a tucked tail. We're sending the tailbone out to the back in a hinging motion. We've got 3 more. Last 2. And we'll be staying down on 1. So hold that squat, specifically pressing into the heels. And we start a pulse, a little micro movement through the knees for 12. So we've got 12, 11, 10, here's 2, stay down on 1. So we're in that chair, bring the hands behind the tailbone, interlace the fingers, breathe in and pull the shoulder blades toward the spine. So we're into a chair with a chest expansion. Keep length in the neck. We don't want to look up. We don't want to look down. Keep that length. Most of the weight is in the heels, but the toes stay in contact with the mat. Keeping the hands like they are, straighten the knees and drop into a forward fold with a chest expansion. We're pushing into the heels. We're lifting up through the legs. Shoulder blades draw towards each other. The elbows draw towards each other. We have a nice long neck. 2 breaths. Go ahead and drop those hands down. Come into a tabletop. And it's a great spot for a drink of water. So if you brought some water, go ahead and grab a drink before we move on. Always have your water nearby. We're coming into a little bit of work with a high plank. I'm going to go through a little bit of alignment, some alignment tips, and I'll give you another option too if a high plank is not comfortable. So a high plank is another one of those great poses that are excellent for strengthening every muscle fiber in the body. We're working shoulders, back, the core, the legs, the feet. There's so much going on in a high plank. They're not super fun, but they are really good strength builders. So I'll give a couple different options, and you can always be down on your forearms instead, which I'll go over in just a minute. So to find a high plank, we begin in a tabletop, and the shoulders are directly over the wrists. Make sure you've got lots of space between your fingers. A lot of times people tend to almost cup their hands like this, and we want that nice grounding through the hands. We're sending the feet back and extending the legs. So one common misalignment is what I call a banana back, which is this. You can see how much pressure that puts on your lower spine. Another common misalignment is almost a semi-down dog, kind of popping the caboose up a little bit. This puts strain on my shoulders and my neck. And another misalignment is people look up or they look down. The head and neck are an extension of the spine. The belly should be tight, and it should be a nice straight line from the top of your head all the way down to your heels. Another option is to do a forearm plank. So if you're taking care of your wrists today, you can bring your forearms down, extend your legs out. It gives us more grounding because the forearms are carrying the bulk of the weight here. Another option is a kneeling plank. So we begin in a tabletop and we push the hips forward so that the weight shifts onto the hands and the upper body. We'll be doing any form of plank for 30 seconds. So choose if you want the high plank, the kneeling plank, or the forearm plank. And we're holding it for 30 seconds. Really important to breathe. It's easy to hold your breath in this posture. So make sure that you're staying connected with your breathing. So when you're ready, go ahead and begin. Ten seconds down. There's 20. And 30. Nice job. Knees come down. We're into a kneeling side plank. So we're taking our right leg and kicking it over the long portion of the mat. The right hand is down. The left hip is on top of the right hip. That left leg extends and reaches, and we send the left arm up. Shoulders are stacked. We're reaching through the fingers like we're trying to touch the ceiling. We've got length in the leg, and we're extending with a nice long neck. 3 more breaths. Good. Turning to a tabletop. We're doing the same thing on the other side. The left leg kickstands out. The right hip is on the top. The right leg is extended. The right arm points up. Reach like you're trying to touch the ceiling and ground into your left palm. Good. Turning back to a tabletop. We've got another plank session, 30 seconds, choosing whichever plank you're doing today. Start in your tabletop and begin. 10, 20, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Knees come down if they're not already, and take a minute to rest in child's pose. Sinking down into a well-deserved rest, staying here for 8 breath cycles. Take 2 more deep cleansing breaths. Finding a tabletop. Good. A quick down dog. Soften the knees. Take little steps walking forward. Deep breath in. Circle sweep the arms up. And exhale, dropping the arms down. We're into a warrior 1. The right foot is in the front and the left foot is in the back. So the heels are on the same line, hips are turned to the top of the mat. So we've got a nice opening in the hip flexors here. Breathe in, sending the arms up. Take a minute to press your feet away from each other to activate your leg muscles. So we're not just standing, we're pressing. When you're ready, turn to a warrior 2. We're looking out over the right fingers. Straightening the front knee, we shift into a triangle. The right arm is down, the left arm opens. Both legs are straight. Moving into an extended side angle. So we're bending the front knee. Drop your right hand all the way down to the ground and the top arm comes up and over. Shoulders stay stacked so we're not turning toward the ground. Rotate the shoulders toward the mat. Step into a down dog. Soften the knees, walk forward. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. Deep breath in. And exhale, dropping the arms down. Same set on the left. So the left foot is in the front. The right foot is in the back. Arms extend. Press the feet. Pull the shoulder blades down. Reach through the fingers. And stay with a nice deep breath. When you're ready, turn to your warrior 2. Now we're looking over the left fingers, keeping that front knee bent and pointing to the middle. So we're not rolling the ankle in. Shifting to a triangle. Shoulders are stacked, collarbones are wide and open to the wall. Moving to the extended side angle, bending the front knee. That left hand comes all the way down. The right arm reaches up and over. So from the outer edge of the back foot to the fingertips, we've got a nice sharp line. Rotate to your down dog. Soften the knees, walk the feet forward. circle sweep up. Go ahead and drop those arms down. And we're turning back to the long side of the mat for some shoulder rotations. We've got our feet hips distance apart. Hands are next to the body with the thumbs pointing to the front. Take a breath in, reach up to the ceiling. Rotate the palms open, and then breathe out, reaching to the back. Take a breath in, extend up. Good, flip the palms, exhale. We'll go through that a few more times, breathing in as we lift and breathing out as we reach to the back. We've got 2 more. Good, last one. And we're finding a tree. Shift your weight to one side. Bring your other foot up and rotate the hip and the knee open. We don't want that knee pointing to the front. We want to open through the hip. Palms can be in. You can do a goalpost, or arms can extend up. We're finding something in the room to focus on. So we have a focal point. We're tightening up through the core. We're activating the core. So if your pinky fingers were on your hip bones, your thumbs were on your ribs, you would be drawing your hands towards each other. That's the feeling we want in the belly. 3 deep breaths. Step out of that nice and slow onto the other side. So switch to your opposite side. You can leave your foot down on the ground if you want extra help with balance today. Or find anywhere on your leg, just we're not pushing into that knee joint. So be careful not to rest your foot on your knee. Tighten up and activate through the core. Find a spot in the room for your focus. Stay connected to your breath. Two more deep breaths. And drop down. Nice job. We'll be clicking the heels together into a V shape, or if you're familiar with ballet, it's a first position. The toes are open. Hands are on the hips. We're rising up to the tiptoes and then pressing the heels down towards each other. Lifting and lowering, strengthening the legs. This is also a good practice for posture. Again, doing that same activation through the core that we did in tree pose. Make sure you're not pulling your shoulders up like this. Press the shoulders down, extend and lengthen through the head and the neck. We've got 3 more, and then we're pulsing with the heels up. Here's 2 and 1. We're pulsing for 12. The heels stay up the whole time. It's a really quick movement. So we've got 12, 11, 10. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Turn back to the top of your mat. Hands are on the hips, and we're hinging forward. Notice that we're not rounding forward. We're hinging. We're shifting our weight onto our left foot. The right toes are in the back. We're doing a back leg lift, keeping the hips square to the mat. Shoulders pull down away from the ears. 2 more. Here's a 12 count. We've got 12, 11, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten all the way up. Get a couple breaths of rest. Wiggle out your legs if you need to. Hinging forward, shift your weight onto your right foot. The left foot steps to the back, toes are pointed. Two more. And a 12 count. Three, 2, and 1. Hinge forward. It's so that we put all the work into the legs and glutes and keep it out of the lower back. So if you felt like your lower back was crunching, that usually means you need to drop your ribs down just a little bit more. Take a deep breath in, sweep the arms up, breathe out, diving down, stepping to a down dog. From a down dog, we're into a tabletop. And from a tabletop, grab a drink. We've got a little more work with plank, really focusing on strengthening legs and the upper body today. All right, we've got 30 seconds to go. Well, we're doing a total of 1 minute, but we're breaking it apart. So begin with 30 seconds, finding whichever plank you are comfortable with. Try to remember those misalignments I talked about earlier and keep your eye out for those. So when you're ready, here we go. Here's 10. 20. And 30. Knees come down. We're into a regular cat-cow. So drop the belly, lift the chin, breathing in. Exhale, round. And then again, drop the belly, lift the chin. And exhale. 2 more times. Good, we're back into a tabletop, turning to the long side of the mat, coming to a simple seated side bend. So sit however you're comfortable, take a breath in, send one arm up and over. So we're opening and expanding, almost like you're trying to add space between your ribs. When you're ready, change sides. Keeping those shoulders open. Good, back up to center. Turn to your tabletop. We're finishing off our plank work for today with 30 more seconds. And begin. 10. 20. And 30. Nice work. Rest in child's pose. Take 4 more deep breaths here. Pressing ourselves all the way back up. Go ahead and sit down and open those feet wide. So we're turning to the long portion of the mat, opening those feet out to the side, sitting tall. Arms are shaped like a T. We're reaching the opposite hand to the opposite foot. And then breathing in, coming back to center. Exhale, switch. So we're hinging forward, keeping a nice straight back. Getting a good rotation through the core, specifically focusing on those obliques. We've got one more on each side. Nice job. Drop those arms down. Soles of the feet come together into a butterfly stretch. Sitting tall, breathing in. Exhale, hinging forward. Again, keeping that head and neck lined up with the spine. With each breath out, try to relax just a little bit more. So maybe you're moving just a millimeter closer to your feet. Two more breaths. Good, coming back up to sitting, we're rolling onto our backs. We've got our left foot planted on the ground. We're crossing the right ankle over. You can keep your left foot in contact with the ground. You can pick it up like a tabletop, or you can flex the foot and extend. So find what is best for you today. Right knee and right hip completely relax. Take a few deep breaths here. Ankle crosses, opening the left knee and the left hip. Again, the options are foot down, tabletop leg, or an extension. Take two more deep breaths. Good, uncrossing the ankles, soles of both feet are on the ground. We're doing 3 spinal lifts, just like we did in the beginning. So breathe in through the nose. Exhale, press into your feet, peel your back up off the mat. Once you've lifted as high as you can, pause briefly, and then bring the spine back down into full contact with the mat. Good, 2 more times, using your breath out to lift. And the final one. Once your back is all the way down onto the mat, keep your knees bent just like they are. Hands can rest on the belly or next to the body. Take a few normal breaths in and out through the nose. We'll be working on an extended exhale today, remembering that it's the exhale that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, cueing the body into relaxation. So we'll be breathing in and out through the nose. Breathe in through your nose for 2. Breathe out for 2. Breathe in for 2. Exhale for 3. Breathe in for 2. Breathe out for 4. Breathe in for 2. Breathe out for 5. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 6. Breathing in for 2. And exhaling for 7. Do that same breath again, breathing in for 2. Exhale for 7. And 2 more times. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 7. Nice job. And finally, breathing in for 2 and breathing out for 7. Good job. Take a minute to do that same body scan that you did at the beginning of class, noticing how you feel now at the end of practice. Check in with your muscles. Notice what your mood is like. Take a minute just to bring some awareness. We'll be shifting on to our final relaxation, remembering that this is the part you do once the camera is off. So you'll stay on your mat with a watch or a clock of some kind and set the timer for 7 to 10 minutes so that the body can completely unplug and reset. So whenever you're ready, extend your legs down. Let your feet fall open like they naturally do when you're relaxed. The arms are next to the body, the palms are up. We're breathing in and out through the nose, but we've created some space between our rows of teeth, so we're not holding tension through the jaw. Stay here, breathing deep and relaxing. Thank you.